By his own standards, Donald Trump is already failing at foreign policy, and it has been 3 days of him as president. That's right. You may recall that President Trump, when he was running, promised to end the Russia-Ukraine war within 24 hours. In an interview, he said this, and it has been more than 24 hours, and the Russia-Ukraine war still has not ended. What a shocker. You shoot for the moon and you get nothing, not even the stars. So, of course, this feels like such a cheap shot because Trump blusters and bluffs a lot, and he just makes a lot of insane promises. And every politician, Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, whatever, they break their promises. It happens. But for him to make such a grandiose promise, for him to campaign on that, and to also criticize the whole idea of like funding Ukraine and Biden's foreign policy and Harris's foreign policy, had she been elected all the time, we need to go after him for this. We need to point this out because we all know that if Trump had succeeded in this promise, MAGA types would be out there saying promises made, promises kept. He ended the war in 24 hours, and they would be off soy jack pointing at Trump's victory. And of course, if Biden made that promise, or if Harris made that promise, and it was not followed up on, they would all angrily point at that and say, look at these lying Democrats. They have failed you. They have failed on foreign policy. They broke their promise to you, the American people. Trump, of course, gets to say so many falsehoods that nobody's able to fact check them all. He gets to make so many promises that people aren't always able to point out, hey, he broke this promise. But we can't hold him to a lower standard because of that. Just because he acts more like a child than Biden or Obama or George W. Bush doesn't mean that he gets to get away with doing whatever he wants, with promising whatever he wants, and then failing miserably to deliver on it. So he's failed on foreign policy already within the first 3 days. And I'm not saying failing in the sense that, oh, the world is getting set on fire because of him. That's not necessarily the case. It is the case, however, that when you make a promise, you set a standard for yourself. You set a standard for yourself, not for others, but for yourself. And you want the American people to hold you to that promise and hold you to that standard, because otherwise the promise, the standard is just meaningless. And this time it just was. Either it was a meaningless promise or Trump has failed. That's the either or here. And I happen to believe that we should just treat it like Trump failing. We shouldn't play into this whole thing of, oh, he just makes meaningless promises that never come true all the time and there's nothing we can do about it. No, we should point out that he failed. He failed on foreign policy already. And Democrats should point this out when they run against his candidates in 2026 in the House and the Senate, as well as against his heir apparent in 2028, who will probably be J.D. Vance. I look forward to seeing Vance try to weasel his way out of this one when he's asked about the Trump administration's failure on this front as the 2028 Republican nominee. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Foreign policy is a sticky subject. There are a lot of things that can go wrong, a lot of things that just are so tough to make calls on, and I understand that as commander-in-chief, you have the world on your shoulders. But when you have the world on your shoulders, you shouldn't make promises to the American people that you know you certainly cannot keep. So yeah, like, comment, or subscribe to the video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I look forward to speaking to you in my next video.